It's up in the air with Cameron Hayworth. We're underway here at the Pavilion. Zoe Kwong early up to Anastasia Russ. The first kill comes from the 6'5" middle blocker. Play through the middles. No changes yet in that department for Maryland. Here's Hayworth behind. Goes to Schlegel. Too far long, and it goes as a kill for the Hoosiers and Avery Tatum. I want to see Schnitta at the line too often. Here's Schnitta, her first serve of the game. Dug out easily up on the serve. Over again it goes to Tatum, but blocked back down by the freshman Shearer.
Coming in and sealing that block, not giving Indiana any. Difficult to pass in general.
Head coach Adam Hughes thought this would be a talented Indiana serving team, and they've done so, even committing the error right there. There's Indiana up by 5. Shearer first one to it. Schnitter just keeps it into play. Cameron Hayworth over front side to Maddie Saris. Collision there on the second line for Maryland, but play continues. Hayworth on the near side to Tatum. And Zoe Huang can't dig it out. Another kill coming from the Hoosiers. How about the dig before it? It's pancakes for dinner for the freshman Katie Shearer.
Who doesn't like breakfast for dinner?
Love it. My favorite meal. Zoe Huang over to Samantha Schnitta into the middle row. Dug out by Ramsey Gary. Over into the middle, Alonzo Corsellis, blocked down by Maryland, goes towards the score table.
But still, it was a great positioning.
Hoosier point kills a 3-0 Maryland scoring run. Huang behind her back to Rohrbach in the middle, locked down by Indiana. That wall set up again.
Successful all season.
The kill from Schnitta gives her the opportunity at the line, but easily received by Indiana, who then quickly gets the service back. Another kill that comes from the junior Avery Tatum. 3 bounces and a spin for the second-year transfer from Cincinnati. Tatum serve off, received by Gunter. Deller behind her back to Rohrbach, into the face of Delaney Maple. Out of bounce on the Hoosier goes as a Maryland point. So Maryland gets to 20. Indiana still up by 2. Hayworth over to Sell, puts it back into the court. 4th service error for Indiana. Maryland's got 5. Hayward over to Alonzo Corsellis. All up in the middle, and it gets tied up there for the Terrapins, and that is how the first game will end. Special match for both teams, and so far it's Indiana having the advantage on the court. Here's Samantha Schnitter to serve it off. Back forward, far side for Ava Vickers. Hand goes off the net, they'll say. Dowler, give and go to Sire, middle, but Cameron Hayworth is ready. Here's Gary, sets back up for Tatum, blocked down by Sire.
So definitely Maryland, they have to find someone to get that momentum. Usually it's Schnitta, they have to find that way so that way they can swing momentum back in their direction.
And how much harder is that, Alexo, now into November, and those injuries starting to pile up, and you got no Sydney Bryant here tonight?
It's definitely tough. You're definitely not in a familiar rotation. You're not in a familiar spot. Schnitta's just playing on the outside sheer, right on the right side. Definitely not something that.
Here is Rohrbach, we mentioned, the same high school again as Avery Tatum. And as we mentioned, Tatum, it goes to kill right there for the junior.
Indiana on their road series right now, so it can mentally be taxing on you as a player.
Maryland gets a serve and goes over to Tatum. Out of bounds for it.
Corner there by Sawyer.
Far side to Delaney Maple. Goes back up, and Hayworth, he's been efficient today and gets another kill. Lily Gunter service on the near right side. Hayworth over to Alonzo Corsellis. Now here's Schnitta. Perfect positioning, but an even better block that comes from Maddie Sell, and that great wall of Indiana goes up again.
They did allow one run earlier on the set, but they haven't really let that go again.
Up top for Alonzo Corsellis. And just barely keeping it onto the tan side of the court, not the red out of play line. Schnitta tied with Anastasia Russ now. Each Terp with 5 kills. Hayworth, front line to Alonzo Corsellis, and sometimes that lightness is all it needs. And Coach Adam Hughes said she's still trying to find that right spot when it comes to the slide. And in position right there, and in position for the block was Maryland, just going out of bounds. So loves to see how the numbers work out. Aaron said it's more of a gut feeling when it's his team he's coaching. There's Hayworth over to Tatum, and that gut feeling says Avery Tatum can certainly play on the opposite side. So important, Tatum's done so far. Can she end set number 2? Wong, front side to Sire. Not just yet, says Sam Sire. In the fifth year goes cross court for the Maryland point. Sire climbing up with 3 kills. Still set point for Indiana. Down to Maddie Sell. Terrapins trying to keep it in. Huang gets off her feet and keeps it in for Maryland, but Katie Shear can only go under the net. Try and keep the ball alive for Maryland, who suffers the second set defeat, 25-21. Indiana claims each of our opening 2 sets. Special match that just means more. Match back underway into the third set. Indiana holding a 2-set lead over Maryland. Avery Tatum for Indiana goes long on the serve in a position you're not familiar with.
It's very tough, but that's the importance of being able to play every position across the front row as a hitter, or at least being able to play 2 out of 3, because that's what makes you versatile.
Here's Delaney Maple. Serve goes off, and Dowler goes behind her back. Off 1 foot, Eva Rohrbach slams it back home. Rohrbach with the right arm swing, just finds its way in. Rohrbach gets her second service ace. Maryland keeps a serve receive on their side. Anastasia Russ has been flying everywhere so far. Gets another kill.
A little bit of quiet in the second set, and here she comes back in. Again, hitting those spots where she's most successful.
Vickers, how about the turn there that comes from the sophomore from Fishers, Indiana. We mentioned her name.
Wall that they've been putting up, and that ball was just right in front of her.
Wong back over to Watson. They've got confidence in their senior for good reason as Ellie Watson picks up the kill.
She's able to get crafty with where she's able to put the ball.
Hayworth back on the near side with Saris. Gary over to Tatum. She'll try to cross court. Squirrel dug out by Williams. Kept on Maryland's side, and Schnitta puts it back down. Hayworth over again to Saris. Nothing doing. Dowler goes to Rohrbach. Into Hayworth on the right side. It's with Tatum, and that's how the point will end.
Tatum alone, and we get a look at another that kill. That's great.
Junior takes a look up and then comes with the right hand. Dowler over to Sire. She's been setting up shop at the opposite side at the other pin and get the point. That's going to be really tough for a defense to defend.
Yeah, 100%. When you're able to run all 3 options at any given point, it's really tough, and it forces blockers to stay disciplined. To be like, you know what, I'm going to put this ball down.
Gary serves it off. Dowler, far side to Schnitta, and finds it into the back line. From beach volleyball to indoor, Maple, a graduate transfer from USC Beach. Dowler, near side to Rohrbach, tries to find the middle. On it is Sell. Make way for Alonzo Candela. And back over with Sire. Sire blocks it into the court. And off the net it goes for the Indiana point, the final one in this match.